Hello, everybody, and happy Monday morning. Welcome back to the Trade Talks. I'm Roger Wakefield. If you've been here before, welcome back to the show. Great to have you here. If this is your first time here, well, we talk about the trades. We talk about a lot of different topics about the trades, everything from getting in, starting your own businesses, to marketing and growing, mindset, business growth. And we're sponsored by Leak Pro. You want to learn more about it? Go to www.leak-pro.com. Squirt is my man. The nut doesn't fall far from the tree. I'm just saying.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Henry Wakefield. I work at Leak Pro, 20-year pipe fitter. We're here to talk trades every day. We want to talk about all trades too. We're not just talking plumbing or just talking pipe fitting. We even talk about electricians every once in a while.
Oh, we talk about electricians, let me tell you. And it's really neat because just last week, one of the electricians that we watch a lot, Dustin Stelzer, over on Electrician U, lost his YouTube channel, got it back. And look, man, great guy. I normally don't say nice things about electricians, so none of y'all tell him, please. But yeah, really good guy. Love what he's doing. What he does is good for the trades. So to be able to see that he was able to get hacked was horrible. It makes us look at what we do a little bit tighter. But just wanted to say, I'm glad he got his YouTube channel back because he does some great stuff, puts great information out there, and it's always a good thing. Man, Leak Pro, the sponsor of today's show.
Leak Pro, thanks for sponsoring today's episode. I build the equipment. We build the best leak detection equipment for professional plumbers. If you want to check us out or find any more about the equipment, check out www.leak-pro.com, or you can give me a call at 1-8888-LEAK-PRO. I probably won't answer for the next hour, though.
Yeah, I hope you don't. If you do, we're going to talk about that. Let's talk about labor shortages, because we talk about, all kinds of things in the national news. I'm actually having dinner tonight or tomorrow night with Reese Plumbing Supply. And I'm really interested to talk to them to see what kind of things they're doing, because I love the things that they've got going on. But the workforce is we're realizing, or I guess the rest of the world's realizing what I've been talking about for the last 2 years is guys, we don't have enough people in the trades or getting in the trades. So let's talk about that, because there's a lot of openings.
There is. And every time I look this up, it spits out a different number. And today I thought it was hilarious. It says the U.S. construction industry needs to fill 501,000 job openings in 2025 to keep up with demand.
Maybe they're just talking Texas.
I think they're just talking about a little portion somewhere because 501,000 isn't going to keep up with the demand of what we really have. We've been looking at this number. We talk millions in the trades that there's that many trade opportunity positions open right now. So that's more than double this 501,000 that they were talking about. But also skilled labor shortages are getting worse because the old guys are retiring. They're done. And there's fewer younger people trying to get into skilled trades, which is really increasing the demand for construction projects. And guys, we've got to get people to fill these positions, or it's going to slow down the growth in the country before too long.
And the bad thing is, it's not just affecting the trades and the skilled trades. It's affecting the engineers, the designers, the CAD, the estimators,
everybody,
because the field is where they get their resources from. And, Squirt got into estimating because of his experience out in the field. Well, when I don't have enough plumbers out in the field, I do not want you to pull my plumbers out to move them into the office. Because I'm going to tell you, it doesn't matter if we get to work, we can't do it. So we've got to get people into the trades. And this is up to everybody. It's up to me and you. It's up to all of us. We need to be talking to the younger kids and say, look, there's an opportunity here. It was really funny. I went and had dinner last week, and I'm sitting at the bar at Gloria's, a little Mexican restaurant. Talked to the lady next to me, and she talks about she's a school teacher at Weaver Elementary. I said, well, that's where I went. She's like, do what? She's like, well, what do you do now? And I told her, I said, I'm a YouTuber. She's like, oh my God, 95% of the kids want to do this. I said, I understand. She said, would you ever consider coming down and talking to our students? I said, anytime you want. Guys, we all need to be doing that. Can we get out and talk to the schools? You know, there's a lady up in Canada named Jamie McMillan who travels Canada speaking to schools and talking about the opportunities in the trades. We should all be doing that. Go to the schools you went to and say, hey, look, I'm in the trades. I would love to come in and talk to the students about opportunities. If we don't start addressing the labor shortage, it's the United States that's going to hurt. And I get messages every now and then from other countries and say, hey, look, you know, we used to manufacture red Solo cups, and we were the biggest red Solo cup manufacturer in the world, but nobody wanted to get into it. And now we don't even manufacture them anymore, and we're losing all that revenue, and we don't have more people getting in. Guys, without plumbers, electricians, and HVAC techs, the United States is a third world country. And I hate to tell y'all that. We bring water, electricity, comfort. We bring things to people that they need every day in their lives. And if we're not getting out and recruiting into the trades each and every day, it's not a good thing.
Yeah, you've got to have tradespeople keeping these old buildings up and running. You know, we're going to see more guys retiring. That's just going to increase the void, this hole that needs to be filled. So start dropping your tidbits, pass them on to the younger generation, how good you feel doing your job. That is one thing that I think that most of these youngsters don't understand is the pride and why we put pride into our work and how good it makes us feel putting our work in every day.
All right. Now, when it comes to websites, we're going to talk about Electrician U, and I'm glad you pulled this one up. Because look, Dustin does a lot in training, and the resources that he has are phenomenal. So I'm gonna let you talk about his hands-on stuff and different things he does.
I thought it was really cool, and because of last week, that's why I went ahead and brought up his website today. You know, losing your YouTube channel, that's huge, man. That
it sucks.
That's their livelihood and stuff. What I do love about what he's done is he has this website. And it is a go-to website. If you want to learn electrical, this is a great place to go to. He does basics for an electrician themselves, but he also has a business track. If you are an electrician already, you know everything there is. Guess what? It's time to start your business. He's got learning for that.
Sounds kind of like stuff we do.
It does. And that's kind of where we are headed. I know ours is under a revamp right now, but all this is going to come back to light again once we finish all these builds that we've got going on, because we want to be the go-to resource for anybody that wants to learn the trades, because putting that knowledge out there, it's a great thing. And he's put it together in a really nice package on his website. You can go through and study different things. He's got training courses. He's got tool reviews. Hands-on tutorials, guys. Step by step. Here's how you do things. Here's how you check things. It's a huge thing, an advantage for anybody that's wanting to learn the electrical trade.
And here's the deal. Look, like I said, Dustin's a good guy. I love going down to Austin. I got to go to his old shop. He has since moved up to Boston because of everything that he's doing with video and social media and all this. He felt that's where he needed to be. I would never, ever in my life feel a need to move to Boston. Nothing bad. I love visiting there, but like a little mustache hair bothering me. I would never want to live there, but man, it's a great place to go visit. And, you know, at the end of the day, he felt like he needed to go up there. I got to go to his old shop and see his studio and how he was set up and what he was doing. And it was really neat to see, because he takes as much pride in being an electrician as I do being a plumber. And the way he had things set up, it's like us setting up the barn with all the trainers and stuff, to where we can show people, look, this is why, this is how, this is why we do what we do. So to be able to do stuff like that is really cool. But to get in and see what he was doing, I really didn't enjoy it. I really did enjoy it. And then to be able to talk with him about what he's doing on YouTube and teach him some things that I knew, it's like, man, look, I want to help you get bigger. I want to help you get better. And he's a great guy. Him and his partner both, they do a lot of stuff to make the trades a better place. And, you know, going back to what we were talking about a while ago with the labor shortage, we all need to be talking to younger people, and social media is where they listen. So if you enjoy the trades, make a Facebook post, make a TikTok post, write an article, make a video, do whatever you want to. Put some information out there about why you think the trades are so amazing. And TikTok, Instagram, I'd love to hear from y'all. And I can't see what you're writing because the letters are so small way over there. But if you've got any comments, I'd love for you to jump over to YouTube to the Trade Talks 2.0 and let's talk about it, because it takes all of us, not just Dustin, not just Roger, not just Randy. It takes all of us talking to the younger generation about the opportunities in the trades and what all we can be doing. And we're going to roll into it here in just a second about business growth. But the thing is, it's time to grow. And with more people retiring in the trades, the more people we get in, or the less people we get in each year. But those that come in, these are going to be our entrepreneurs in the future. And we're talking about raising rates and business growth. And this is something, and I love it. Randy's got 2025 as the year to raise your rates. Man, it's been the year for the last 5 or 10 years. But if you've waited, if you've pushed it off, if you've been like, well, my customers aren't going to go for it if I raise my rates. Well, if you don't, you're not going to be around. So look at it that way.
Yeah. If, like he said, if you have not, this is the year, guys. It's time to quit putting it off, quit hesitating. It's time to take that leap and move forward. It's time to recheck everything. It's going to be time for Leak Pro to recheck everything again soon. I like to do it every couple of years just to make sure that everything's still looking right.
You better be doing it more than every couple of years. If you wait 2 years, you could be out of business in 2 years.
That's it. Like some things, and you do have to keep that into mind too. There's not a whole lot of fluctuation in my business currently with what I get. Some parts, yes, but some parts, no. So you do have to look at how often you need to rethink about this. But also remember that more skilled tradespeople are charging premium rates due to this labor shortage. We're always talking about the labor shortage. We always need more people. All this is doing is increasing demand. And well, when demand increases, so does the money, guys. So don't forget that this is going on. It may be time that you need to pay your guys before you start losing your guys. Your rates set all that up. It creates that opportunity for you to better your guys' lives, which betters the whole company in a big grand scheme of things.
And guys, here's the deal. If you're not priced right, you're losing money, whether you realize it or not. And when I still had the plumbing company, we were getting messages from our vendors at least every other month saying, hey, look, I hate to tell you this again, but the price of water heaters, the price of tankless water heaters, the price of PVC, the price of whatever is going up. If you're not raising your prices every time you get that email, you're doing something wrong, because the cost of goods in the United States goes up. We're looking at the tariffs going on right now, and everything from Mexico and everything from Canada, the price is fixing to go up. They're like, look, we're going to embark a 25% tariff tax. Same thing Trump is doing. Is it going to help us? Is it going to hurt us? I don't know. Our price is going up? Abso-freaking-lutely. And as long as you know that, you need to be ready for it. And if you're not looking at it coming, if you're looking at it in your rearview mirror like, wow, you know what? Prices went up 4 months ago. They went up again 2 months ago. I hadn't gone up yet, but I'm not making profit anymore. Guys, the more materials go up, the more it costs you to do good, to do your service. The more the cost of goods go up, the more it costs you as a business owner. And if you were making a 20% profit margin and you've let prices go up a couple of times, you may be down to a 10% profit margin. And I hate to tell you this, but most of us aren't making 20% margin. We wish we were. We were set up for it, or we try to be. But with labor being the big fluctuation there, you've got to be very careful what all's going on. Go ahead.
I was going to say, and this can stunt your business from growing more.
Yeah.
Because if, like he just said, if you're at 20%, but now jobs are only bringing in 10%, well, that other 10% that you just lost could have gone into the future of the business. And that's huge because
new tools, material, marketing.
That's anything. It. What's the point of every business? We want it to grow. We want to expand it. We want our businesses to get better. And that's how you do it, is stay on top of your pricing.
And do it before you go out of business. Don't wait till you're out of business to say, oh, wow. You know what? 6 months ago when I started raising prices, I probably should have raised my pricing. And guys, be open and honest and transparent about it. When you raise your pricing, if you've got a good CRM like Go High Level, it's the one we talk about all the time. You want to learn more about it, look up Rogers Marketing Machine. Go to Google and search it and you'll find it. But if you're getting that notification that your prices are going up, sit down, look at your price book and say, okay, we need to raise our prices 15%. To be honest, most companies out there right now are charging at least 25% below what they should be. So look at your numbers. If you're charging 400, chances are you should be charging 500. But you need to look at those and figure it out and make that happen. But now let's talk about how to make more money, because we're going to talk about service work and the growing demand. And I say all the time, like, if you're a plumber, specialize in whole house water filtration and leak detection, things that most plumbing companies don't specialize in. If you're an HVAC company, specialize in indoor air quality. Get the indoor air qualities where you come in, you test the air, you send it to a third-party inspection. We do that with Halo Water Systems. We'll check the water. We can run a third-party report that tells us what the local municipality is giving us in our water quality, and that's enough to scare the bejesus out of people. But electricians should be doing whole house surge protections. And you've been doing some research on this.
I have. Homeowners are installing this at record rates due to more frequent power grid failures. It's been a constant thing. We know it's coming. We know the grid's overloaded. So whole home surge protection is becoming huge. Think of all the electronics and smart devices you have in your home now. Something bad happens, it could ruin every device in the house. That's why this is becoming a new thing, and it's just on the rise even more and more, because everything's sensitive. If you get a major surge, this new equipment, that new fancy device that you paid a lot of money to have installed, could go poof in a moment because you didn't protect it.
And let's not even talk about your fancy devices. Let's talk about your TV, your computer. I mean, I know people that have lost every TV in their house due to a lightning strike. They lost TVs and a computer. So look, computer just fried it. It won't do anything. Surge protectors, guys, they save you from headache. And I don't even know what they charge, but I've got to tell you, it's worth it.
Yeah, like I didn't research cost or anything like that. Check on that. I get us a good topic here that we can talk about and discuss, and that's what we go for. But if you're an electrical contractor out there, look at this as an add-on service.
That's what we do with sewer and water leaks and whole house water filtrations.
That's it. It's just an extra that you can offer it. If they say no, they say no. It's okay.
It should be on offer. Every house you walk in, no matter which trade you're in, you should have a service that you say, hey, by the way, while I'm here, can we go ahead and test your water? I want to test it, and I'll teach you a trick if you're a plumber. Check the water in their pool too. Because if they've got a pool, chances are the water in their house is higher in chlorine than the water in their pool, and that will scare people. I mean, but then again, it should scare people. But yeah, the whole thing is, the best way to sell them is to have your team trained in them. And we used to do this. We'd bring in Glenn from Halo Water and say, look, let's talk about this. Teach our guys about water. And he'd come in with the red Sharpie. He'd say, this red Sharpie is worth $300,000. and he would teach you how to sell these systems. You explain it to people, you show it to people, and then you say, look, if you don't want it, I just need you to sign no and draw a big red line across the document and say sign here, and you write under it that they refused. And they're like, why do you do that? It's like, because the whole house water filtration system helps your appliances last longer. It keeps your toilets and tub and shower valves and all that from leaking and running because of the chlorine eating up the rubber. And when we offer this to people, we want this to say that they said no. That way, 2 or 3 months from now, you call back and say, hey, my water's not any good and it made my house leak, or it made my fixtures leak, and you didn't do anything about it. It's like, no, I told you about the whole house water filtration system and you said no. And when you make people think about it like that, they're normally like, okay, this might be something that we at least need to look at, and have that sales knowledge in your head. Become the guy that knows more about your systems than anybody else.
That's it. And I think a great sales point here is, to most people, if you're going to get a new computer for the home, you get a surge protector to go with it. You don't need that if you surge protect your whole house.
Yeah.
That's every device in the house. Doesn't matter what it is. Even the little bitty toasters and stuff, they're safe. You don't even have to think about it or worry about it. And that's huge. Sell me that comfort in my home and that ease of mind, and it's kind of a no-brainer at that point.
And it's really funny, and we're going to move on to the next topic here in just a second, but I was speaking at an event in Lake Tahoe, and there's 4 of us on a panel, and the guy next to me is an attorney, and I'm talking about this. It's like, look, understand what you do better than anybody else. And the guy next to me says, Roger, look, I love it. He says, I'm the guy, if you give me 3 options, I'm buying the most expensive option. I want what's best. And he said, most of my friends are that way. He said, so when a plumber just comes in and says, hey, I'm going to fix your toilet, it's $200. Okay. Hey, I'm going to fix your toilet and the problem that caused it. Here's the option for that. The option for that is $8,000, but you're not going to have this problem again. You're not going to have it in your dishwasher, your washing machine, your ice maker, anywhere that any appliance you have that water flows through. This is going to help keep you from having problems there. Like, dude, I'm in. I'm not worried about it. Give me what I want. Now, material, equipment, and tools, the best heavy duty work boots. And I want to see what all you came up with here.
I'm always doing research, trying to get new ideas, things like that. We discussed just the other day on this show, work boots. It's the one thing that both of us will spend a lot of extra time when we are shopping for our work boots.
Yes, we do.
Guys, we know.
And we spend a lot of extra money on them.
You're in them all day, every day. It's like, even still, I still wear work boots from when I get up until I'm ready to crawl in bed. But here's some new good pairs that can prevent injuries and reduce fatigue, your foot fatigue on the job. So the top picks for this were Thorogood 1957 series. These are made in the USA, and I'm told that they have excellent arch support. This is huge for a lot of guys because we are on our feet all day long. We walk one side of the job to the other. If you're a gopher, you run more than anybody else, and you really want some good shoes, boots, to get you back and forth that you can be on all day, every day.
And I've never worn Thorogood, so I don't know.
Me neither. I'm not sure. And one thing that I'll always tell anybody is, when you find that pair that you like, that you're comfortable in, that you feel safe in, get those again, because you found the right boot for you. Another one here, Red Wing King Toes.
Now, I've never done the King Toe.
Me neither. This intrigued me.
But I love the Red Wings.
Because it said extra toe room, and it's a durable leather. I've wore Red Wings before, and yes, their leather lasts a long time.
Oh, yeah. I've got my brown boots that I wear are Red Wings.
So that's huge. You want to find the pair that's comfortable for you. This, if you need that extra toe room, it's got it. So it's something to kind of keep in mind. I thought that was cool. Also, Keen Utility Cincinnati.
I've seen King. I've never worn them.
I had never worn them myself. I hadn't even seen them personally. So it kind of intrigued me. I'm like, oh, interesting. It says they're waterproof with slip resistant. And guys, go out there and try a bunch of different boots. Like, he wears a lot of Red Wings, things like that. I wear Justin slip-on cowboy style. Square toe, steel toe, all that. I got so comfortable in mine though, because I climb in a lot of pipe racks and stuff. Pipe's slippery and smooth. I've gotten some boots that I had to just toss before because I don't like them too much. And then, yeah, the Thorogoods, it's like the old ironworker boots.
Yeah,
and I've seen tons of guys wearing those boots, and they love them. They're always happy with them. And I tell you, if ironworkers can get away with wearing them, they got to be pretty good running some steel.
Yeah, you know, and they do that. They look like a solid boots. The one that I'm going to tell you about is the white boots. You know, I've worn Red Wings. I still wear them, but white boots are nice. Yeah, and the King, that they look same thing. Yep. Ironworker type boots. They look solid. Look really solid. So, you know, the one thing that I liked about the white boots is literally you stood up on a piece of paper, you drew the outline of your foot, you sent it to them. They had about 8 measurement points, probably more than that, probably 10 or 12. But like you measured the length of your foot, the width of your foot, you measured right around your ankle, and then you came up every 2 inches, and they built the boots to fit your foot. And I love those. So here's the thing. The last time I went to Red Wing, I stood up in the machine, and a girl said, "Hey, your foot has changed a little bit." And she took me to a different size, and it fit so much better. And I'm like, you know what? I like this. Now, I'm going to jump into the comments real quick. I want to say hello here, says R6 Kev says, do you guys have any insight on the future of auto body industry? Yeah, what the Calling College that we support, because they've got a great plumbing, electrical, HVAC, great trades program. They've got auto body and automotive repair, mechanical. So good stuff. And yeah, we need more people in all the trades. Steve Whittington says, about to go for my master's in Texas in a month. Was curious the difference between a regular master and an RMP with a master. Can I still run my one-man van as my own company? You need a RMP to run your one-man van, because you need to be able to pull licenses and permits, or have the right license and a permit. Without an RMP, I hate to say it, you shouldn't be running a van. Matt McDonough, this is Mr. Miyagi of Plumbing. What's up, brother? I had a great weekend. Man, worked around the house. We're trying to build an event center here, so I've been working on the ideation behind the event center, the barn itself. It says Red Wings are awesome. Ironworkers is a boot through Granger. They work great. I wear military boots. Yeah, military boots, man, they're made for putting the miles on. Guys, this video is sponsored by Leak Pro. And Leak Pro is the best leak detection system designed for professional plumbers, in my opinion. I read a comment on a Facebook post, which you need to go in and reply. Somebody's like, well, you know, you say it's a game changer. How's it a game changer? Look, there's not a lot of extra equipment to carry around. There's one wire. It runs from the box to from the probe to your headphones. There's not a lot of gadgets to adjust. You've got a volume control on your headset, and that's it. You press the button, that makes it go live. That helps you protect your hearing. So, you know, I read these things and I'm like, you know, this is coming from somebody that either knows way too much about leak detection equipment or they don't know anything about it. But to me, it's a game changer, because on the old systems that have all the adjustments, you needed to know like what type pipe, how big is the leak, what frequency are we looking for? You know what? I need something that lets me hear what my ears hear underground. And that's what Leak Pro does. And the fact that you can take one tool, either the Sidekick if you're indoors, the probe if you're outdoors, you take one tool, stick it in the ground or stick it on the ground, and you get them both with the complete kit. It makes it easy to find what you're looking for. And if you come here and go through the training center, you understand when you get out how to use this equipment, and you're confident in using all the equipment in the box. So what I'm going to tell you is go to www.leak-pro.com, or if you want to call Squirt, schedule an appointment to come in for training. He's the guy to talk to. He will make that happen. And that number is 1-8888-LEAK-PRO. So go check it out. MEP.
MEP. So the role of AI in HVAC troubleshooting. we've all been opposed to the question.
Oh, I'm not opposed. I love it.
We've all heard the question, is AI going to take over my job? We both agree AI is a tool in your tool belt. Add it to it and figure out what it can do for you to help you do your job faster and better, guys.
Absolutely.
That's what it's about. And there's AI-driven diagnostic software that's going to change the game. It's going to be able, you're going to go through, you're going to read the readings, but with some smart devices, you won't even have to go through and read those readings. It'll automatically get sent. We've discussed some of those. But guys, AI is going to take everything, read it all, check against outside temperatures, things like that. It's going to tell you where the problems in the system are. It's not doing your job for you. You're still going to have to go check that area, that space, and determine the problem there. Or it's going to tell you, change out this part, change that part out. It's not going to be able to do that for you. Okay. So don't be scared. But like there's smart sensors coming out, and these detect issues before failures occur. Don't lose your HVAC. Let it keep operational. Oh, this is about to break. Go ahead and get this in the process, get it fixed and replaced so you don't lose.
Those smart sensors can sense like the vibration from a bearing going out. They can sense the smallest little details to say, hey, look, this is preemptive of what's fixing to happen here. This is something you want to look at. And I love it because I think that we're going to see things like this for plumbing in the future. I think that our toilets, our washing machines, our water heaters are all going to have sensors built in them that detect moisture. Oops, we've got a leak. Let's shut down. Let's do this. And guys, I think things like that are in our future.
Yeah, it is. And there's companies out there like Emerson and Carrier. They are rolling out AI-driven HVAC units. It's going to take those readings. It's going to factor it. It's going to control your equipment to maintain what you set at that thermostat. And it's going to do it the best way possible. That's huge. That way you don't need a tech sitting there jacking with it the whole time. AI is doing it in the software itself and making all the little tweaks and adjustments that are needed to maintain your input at that thermostat.
You know, I mean, think about it. You set up your AI system. It knows when you come home. Matter of fact, it sees you pull in the driveway.
That's where
I
was just
it's
thinking.
like, you know what, kick it down. Or matter of fact, there's a sensor in your car that says, ooh, Roger's a mile from home. He's headed this way. Indoor temperature, 75 degrees. Roger likes it 70. All units on high. It runs for the next 3 minutes till I can get home. And boom, my house is cool by the time I walk in. Not a bad deal.
No. And we always say it, Jetsons, here we come. Guys, it's the future that we speak of and dream of. But guys, things like this are starting to come out on a day-to-day basis now. The future is not that far away.
And the cool thing is if you're in the field, think about how do you be the guy that helps design something like that? How do you be the guy that comes up with the idea to say, hey, what do we do? And I was in a meeting the other day with a company that I work with out of Hollywood. And I'm talking to one of the ladies, and she says, Roger, look, I'm using AI to help me do my job. She said, because I don't want to be replaced by it. She said, so I'm figuring out how to use it to help make me better. I said, like, it'll make you bigger, stronger, and faster. Just keep doing what you're doing. Where's the work? Man, we talk about these commercial EV charging stations, I think once a week. There's a reason though.
I think so. That's it. Like we say, the future's not far off, guys. This is the future. It's here now. So if you don't know anything, you're an electrician that doesn't know about EV charging stations and stuff, we're talking commercial level today, but even residential, there's a special certification to be able to do these things. And get out there and learn it. Get it. Start to understand it. Start to research it. Start to keep an eye out on what's coming. Ask AI. You know, I do it a lot. Ask it to do some research for me to see what's out there. Things like that. It's huge, and it searches pretty quick. But EV adoption is skyrocketing, guys. The government is pushing for more EV vehicles. Every manufacturer out there, I think nowadays, has an EV vehicle that they manufacture themselves. So it's becoming a huge, huge industry. But businesses and apartment complexes, they're racing to install charging stations too, because You're
the
that
residents.
I was going to say, you're that last minute person that runs out of gas occasionally. Well, guess what?
Speaking of my fuel all the time.
That's
You go plug my truck in.
That's why these charging stations are going to become a bigger thing at businesses, at major buildings, things like this. It's going to become the new norm. So get out there and start getting certified for some of these things.
You know, and the neat thing about it is that there's government incentives out there, guys, that they're going to be available to help train people, to help do a bunch of different things. If this is something that you're interested in, think about it. If I'm an electrical company right now, I want my guys trained in this. I want to know, okay, what do we have to do to learn how to install these? And is there free training money available that'll help me pay? Remember, I told you about me becoming an HVAC tech. I was working at DFW Airport, and DFW Airport had a training fund, and my guys weren't using it. While you're looking down there,
I'm going to look that
I'm
up.
looking at your eyes like, but the whole thing is, a lot of these training funds, a lot of these government assistant monies aren't always being claimed because most people don't apply for it. And it's the same way with grants. You know, I'm involved in a Rainmaker group that, I mean, they talk about grants every time I'm around. And it's like, okay, how do we do more to get more grants, and what can get us more money? What'd you find?
So the certification to get is this EVSE installations, which stands for Electric Vehicle Supply Equipment / System. It's how this power gets set up to get distributed to the cars. Go get certified on this so that you can do these commercial installs for some of the jobs that could be coming up in your area.
I love it. Aurelia Lozosa says, hello from Houston, Texas, of the plumbers. Hello from the plumbers of Houston, Texas. Love that. Aurelia, good to have you in here. Thank you very much, sir. So here's the thing, too, when it comes to all this training and where the work is. And we're going to talk about training here in a minute and instructors. But guys, if you learn at your company how to do this, and Brand Engineering used to call them champions, we will train a champion of this system, this process, whatever it is. And that's the company that's the person that we have at the company that knows more about it than others, that has gone through the advanced detailed training. And be that for your company. You know, if your company is looking at doing the EV charging stations, or they're looking at solar, you know, be the guy that raises his hand and says, hey, look, man, I want to learn how to do this. Start studying on your own. That way you can come in and speak intelligently about it and say, look, I've already been studying this. I know that this is how it's done. I know that this is what we need. I know this. I would love to be the one to go through that training because this is exciting to me. And if you look at things like that, it can open up a whole new world for you. Because then anytime they get a job in the beginning, guess who's the guy that's going to go out there? It's going to be you, because you're the one that gets it. You're the one that understands it. And they want you to show proof of concept. So you come in and show, look, we've installed a dozen of these. We've never had a problem with them. The customers love them. You know, whatever the case is, man, you're the guy. And when you do that, that opens up a whole new world, because now we're going to talk about instructor training. Should the experienced tradespeople start teaching? And guys, it starts with what you're learning right there on the job that you're on. And you've done some research on this. What are your thoughts?
Well, there's a lot of things that come to mind in this. And the main one is, we talk about it. You've done it before, where when you first got in the union, you were a plumber. You were happy.
I'm still a plumber.
You're a plumber. Boom, you got your
plumber.
license. You're a plumber. You don't need to learn no more.
Absolutely.
But then you started to realize later, oh, wait, I do need to learn more if I want to do other things.
Mm-hmm.
Guys, if you're that plumber out there, go teach some of these youngsters how to be that plumber, because that's what a lot of them need. It's the basics. It's not all the super advanced everything. There's guys out there that just want to be a plumber. Teach them how to be a plumber. There's guys like this guy that want to be a plumber and then blow through the roof.
Do other things.
That's fine. They still have to learn plumbing. Teach them. Don't be scared to step into some of these teaching roles, even though you don't feel like you're that teacher person. If you've been doing plumbing 40 years, there's a lot of knowledge in you that these youngsters would really love to have. I know you don't see it that way, but it's in you. I promise.
Somebody else sees it.
Don't be scared.
And here's the cool thing about it too is, when I was in the union, they asked me to teach advanced blueprint reading and drawing. Now, those of y'all that have heard my story, look, I learned to read blueprints upside down because the plumber didn't even want me standing next to him. He's like, look, you get out of here. I'm looking at this. Well, I'm on the other side of the drawings looking at his eyes. Where's he looking at? Trying to figure out what he's looking at and where we were at and what we were doing. Then I eventually took the log, the legend, the cover page. That way I could learn what all the symbols meant. And I'd go home at night and study. And then I was learning, okay, look, when they came in and gave him new prints, I'd take the old prints home with me. That way I could learn to look at the structural, the architectural, the electrical. I wanted to get in there and see what was it? Why was he flipping back and forth from this page to that page? And then I started learning, oh, wow, we've got the same drawing number, but this one is a P drawing, plumbing drawing. This is a mechanical drawing. This is an electrical drawing. And it's like, oh, wow, look at all this. And you look at it and it's like, okay. Then you start looking at the architectural drawings. Okay, now I see how he knows how high the lavatory is. And you look at all these little details, but I didn't know that when I first started. I just learned to read drawings. So when the instructor said, or when the union said, look, we'd like you to be an instructor, they sent me to instructor training program. And I literally went in for the same course that I was going to teach. So I got to see an instructor teaching it. Well, think about that. If we're talking about, say, whole house water filtration systems, or we're talking solar, or we're talking EV chargers, anything at all like that, what can we learn that we could come back in and teach the people around us? Because if we're the go-to guy at our company, we may be the go-to guy in the city. And if you're the best EV charger installer in your city, and you get that reputation, and hopefully you're doing TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, you're doing whatever, and you're making videos and you're making posts about the new EV charger that you installed at a house in University Park today. Well, guess what? Somebody's going to reach out on that post, say, hey, I've got a car. I want a charger at my house. And you may be the guy. So learn to do that, because now you can teach the people around you. And when you know it so good, you can teach them. You're really doing something great out there.
And you don't have to go to teach full-time either. This can be a part-time gig on the side. It doesn't have, don't take over everything. Yeah. Like if you become that go-to EV guy, guess what? A lot of the companies around would love for you to come teach their guys a little bit of your knowledge. Use that to kind of teach yourself how to teach. Use these as little learning opportunities to elevate what you do. And it can take you a long way.
All right. So now we're going to talk about specialties. And again, we're talking about electrical. But the future of smart panel upgrades. Now, I was literally online looking. I'm laying in bed. Hate to tell y'all this. Laying in bed, and I thought, man, I wish I could just turn my light on from my phone. And I thought about this when I was a kid. I wanted to design a string system and pulleys to make it where I could lay in bed and pull a string and turn the light on. That's the way my mind works. Long time ago. But now I'm getting online looking, okay, what kind of light switches are there that I can control from my phone?
What about the clapper?
I know. If I could have hooked that up to my wall switch, it might have been good.
And it's like, that's where this is headed, being able to control things from your phone and everything from your phone. And smart panel installs. Your whole electrical panel, all electricity coming into your house is behind this smart panel that's reading everything. It's reading all the sensors, things like that. Where this leads me to think is like leak detection. What if you got something that arcs out somewhere? Somebody ran a screw in the wrong spot. Hopefully these smart panels are going to be able to detect that, determine that, and go, oh, wait, something changed here. We picked up this, and it's going to alert you and let you know. And then you can think back, What did I do today? Oh, I hung that picture for the wife. Let me go
Wonder
check
what
that.
I stuck the screw in.
That's it. And this is huge, because it can see the things that we cannot just by reading the data. Now, yeah, we could go in and test the panel and read the currents and all this stuff. Sure, but are you going to do that every time you hang a picture in your wall? No, we're not. Install a smart panel. You don't even have to worry about it. It's going to do that thinking for you.
That's pretty cool. And look, I know that our homes are getting smarter. No matter what trade we're in, we need to be looking at what can we do to contribute to that. If we're an electrical company, do we learn more about smart panels? If we're an HVAC company, do we learn more about smart panels and indoor air quality and, communicative thermostats that are going to be able to talk to the smart panel? I mean, pretty soon we're just going to be able to walk into our house and talk to it. Say, hey, Poppy's home. And it's going to be like, yes, Poppy, what would you like? Well, you know what? I want it a little cooler than it is. It's hot outside. I've had a long day. Oh, by the way, what's the robot's name on the Jetson? Betsy or something like that. What's for dinner, honey? Just let our world do that. Guys, as these things come along, we need people to be the front runners, to be the champions, to say, hey, look, I know how to make that tankless water heater communicate with the smart panel. So you can literally tell it, hey, I'm headed out of town for 2 weeks. Do not fire up whatever you do. Yes, Poppy, have a great day. So things like that are coming. We just got to be the guy to get out and get in front of it. So what we're talking about, training and specialties and stuff like this. If there's a specialty that your company is coming up upon, that they're like, look, we're going to get into cure-in-place plastic piping or something, be the guy to say, hey, man, I want to learn that. I want to learn that so well I can teach the other plumbers.
Yep. And
when you go at it about that, you're good when you can teach others to do it. It goes, somebody will teach you, then hopefully they'll help you. Then they'll do it together with you. Then you'll do it and they'll watch you. And then you teach someone else. Guys, when you get it down like that, it makes it easy. And if you're going to be a specialist at something, learn to be the very best at it. And that's one thing. That's why I started studying all the leak detection equipment that I did. That's why I went to multiple places to train. I want to see how they're training. I want to see the words they use. I want to see how good their equipment is, or really how good it isn't. And things like that make all the difference in the world. Social media. Squirt.
So today's spotlight's about the 360 electrician. And they offer comprehensive coaching and insights for electricians and electrical contractors. This channel covers a wide range of topics, including business strategies, tool reviews, and practical tips to enhance both electrical skills and business acumen. It's an excellent resource for those looking to expand their knowledge and grow their electrical business. And guys, this is huge. This is just like we were talking earlier about what Dustin Stelzner does on his site, things to enhance you and what you do in your day-to-day. But one of the videos, the feature video we're talking about, is only the best electricians do this. And this video delves into basic practices that set top-tier electricians apart. And this is what offers valuable insights to achieving excellence in the trade. Like we were talking about specialties and specializing, become the best you can at your trade and what you do in your specialty. If you're an electrician, you want to know all the top things that all the top professionals are doing. How are they doing it quicker than everybody else? Learn from some of these top guys, because it can really give you some insights into their minds, because they've seen it longer than most.
And I love this because he's taking what he does and trying to teach it to you in a way to say, look, this is why I do this. I've done the same thing. Why do I rebuild a toilet the way I do? Why do I take things apart the way I do? Why do I go into depth? We talked about the HVAC tech that taught me, look, when I go outside, I tear the entire compressor apart. Really, the entire condensing unit apart. Compressor is just part of it. But he says, look, I take every screw out. I take it apart. I lay it on the ground. I wash it hand by hand before I put it all back together. Literally, when he's done, that condensing unit outside looks brand new. Man, that would be the right way to do it. But then when he goes inside, he pulls the fan. He does everything. He wants to be able to get in there and look. And he says, Roger, normally the mold, mildew, and bacteria is back there and you don't even see it if you don't get in and take it apart and do it right. So learn to look at it and say, look, how do we do this? How do we learn this better than anybody else? And, I used to love, and this will blow a lot of y'all's minds, I used to be a cosmetologist. And I would go to the hair shows and I would want to talk to the product knowledge people. What makes your product better? How is it better? And I wanted that breakdown. I wanted you to educate me. I wanted you to teach me where I could communicate that to my customers. Now, I do that with plumbing. What makes Halo the best whole home water filtration system? And when you sit and talk to Glenn and you go through this training, you start understanding. You're like, wow, you know what? This makes sense. And you look at it and you figure it out. And it's like, okay. But the good thing is when you learn about this stuff, you're also going to learn to communicate it in a way that you understand. So when Glenn tells me this is what makes Halo great, I don't just quote Glenn word for word.
Yep.
Well, Glenn would tell you this. Well, Glenn would tell you this. Well, Glenn would tell you this. It's like, you know what? I've got this installed at my house. Here's what I like about it. And, here's what I had to do. My installation. We had to drill through the garage floor in order to loop the lines up in the garage because my water lines came in from outside. And things like that are what make it all work. You're going to learn to be the best at something. Learn how to talk about it in a way that you love. And we talk about the credibility statement a lot. To be a great plumber, and I mean great, you've got to have a good credibility statement. And all that is if you walk up to someone's house, you knock on the door and you say, hey, before I get started here, have you ever used Texas Green Plumbing before? Well, you already know they haven't because you've looked at the history. And they say, no, I hadn't. You say, do you mind if I take just a moment and tell you a little bit about me, a little bit about the company, and a little bit about why I work there? And they're like, yeah, go right ahead. Look, I was a troublemaker growing up. I got in fights a lot. I just probably voted most likely to not succeed. But I got into plumbing, and I thought it was so cool, and I loved it. And then when I found Texas Green Plumbing, I found a company that train their people well. They want us to be the best plumbers. They want us to know more about things than anybody else. And they invest in us. That's why most plumbers there don't leave, because they keep investing in us. And to me, Texas Green Plumbing has the best warranties in the business. The owner stands behind his name. He stands behind the company. And he thinks that standing behind his name and that name is the most important thing that we do. So when we walk into people's houses, they always tell us, treat it like it's your mother or your grandmother. What would you do for them? And things like that are huge. If you do stuff like that, if that's the way you learn about it and believe it, know it, if I'm trying to sell my company and I walk up with a credibility statement like that, it's huge. If I walk in and say, look, can I tell you why I have Halo water system installed at my house? Well, I started learning about it. I found out about it. I met Glenn. I saw how knowledgeable he was. And you start talking about the products that you sell like that, it will change the way you do business. And when you're selling 10 times more of these than anybody else in your business, who do you think your business wants training their people?
And there's nothing like showering in bottled water.
That's about what it's like. Yeah, there's your great video. I love showering in bottled water.
That's it.
There we go. Man, there's a title. Let's write this one down. Colton, write that down. Write that down. Let's talk about some questions.
Yeah. So Like what is the best new electrical tool for 2025?
Probably a smart panel, since you were talking about it. But here's the thing, guys. Look, smart panels, whole house GFCIs. Well, guess what? A smart panel has a whole house GFCI built in it. These smart panels are going to be able to communicate in a way that we can't even imagine. It's going to be able to talk to you on your phone. It's going to be able to say, hey, there was just a spike at home. But whatever happened, you may want to get home, check it out. Because remember, that's how electrical fires occur. When your home can talk to you and tell you what's going on, why it's going on, or when it happened, now you've got data. And data is the most valuable thing out there.
Nice.
What else?
So what's the most in-demand electrical certification right now?
Probably the EV chargers.
Thought I had it. Yeah, it's this EVSE, which we were talking about earlier. It's that electrical vehicle supply equipment certification. You have to get certified on the equipment that charges these EV cars. You got that certification, that puts you ahead of most other electricians in your area, and you can become the specialty contractor for these installations in your local area.
And guys, look, I'm a lead AP. You can look it up, Leadership in Energy and Environmental Design. And the AP is accredited professional, the USGBC. I'm certified by the U.S. government, knowing that I do what I do. And when it comes to building green, things like EV chargers are part of it now. It's if you install EV chargers, you get points towards being a green building. And when I first became a lead AP, it was more about high efficiency plumbing products. It was about the solar reflectiveness of the roof, the glazing on the building, the things that you're allowed in the building, no formaldehydes, no VOCs, things like that. It's getting to be broader and deeper and more energy efficient related, and stuff that literally are going to help keep us building green buildings. And until we raise water prices to where people realize I need to quit wasting water, green buildings are going to be the way to do it. To me, that's part of why, and I'm going to talk about our sponsor, Leak Pro, but that's why leak detection is so big. I remember when we first started Texas Green Plumbing and going out and speaking at Earth Day and things like that, we literally started doing research, and it said 9 out of 10 homes have leaks, and most homeowners don't even know it. So that became a big deal to me. And people ask me, why did you focus on water conservation? I remember walking into a continuing education class early one day, and I'm sitting in the back of the room, and the instructors down front talking to someone else. And he told them, he said, our kids and grandkids are not going to have access to water the way we do. And at first I thought he's crazy, but I listened to him talk and I thought, wow, you know what? Maybe they're right. So I started looking at things like Green Plumbers USA, water conservation, lead AP. And I knew that I wanted to do things nobody else was doing. Well, then when I found out about how many leaks houses have, I started looking at how can I become the specialist in slab leaks and leak detection. I started training real estate agents, teaching them to talk to their buyers to make sure there's no leaks under the houses before they buy them. Leak Pro became a big part of that. And I truthfully think it is the best leak detection system for professional plumbers. And if you want to learn more about it, go to www.leak-pro.com. And if you want to grow your business, think about getting a couple of guys down here trained on it. And you buy a couple of pieces of equipment, you bring them down here for the training, and they learn to go out and create an entirely new revenue stream for your company. And it's great.
It is. If you want to find out any more about Leak Pro, you can give me a call at 1-8888-LEAK-PRO. We can discuss the equipment, the training, anything and everything.
Tiny Sprout says, I applied to be a substation technician, trying to get ahead of the curve, and was looking at gas insulated equipment and future demand. Is SFE going to be mandatory specialization in the future? Look, there's going to be so many new Guys, 10 years from now, there's going to be specializations we hadn't even thought of yet. And the way that you become that specialist is when new stuff comes out, you become the guy to get certified, get out ahead of everybody else, and learn more about it. And that's why we talk about what we do. I hope y'all enjoyed this today. If you did, do me a favor, give us a thumbs up. Go ahead and leave us a comment and hit that ring bell, that bell, hit the bell, ring it so you get the notification so you don't miss out on anything. Those of y'all that have been here before, thank you so much. Please come back again. And everybody that was new, I hope we see you again tomorrow.
As I say, thanks for showing up today, and I hope to see you here tomorrow. Appreciate it, everybody.
Y'all have a great day. Bye, guys.